is fine day in California.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of the Friday Night Frenzy, where Phenomenova is currently the best comic in America, and you're going to find out why.
Oh, yeah.
So, I improvised that, so thank you. Joining us is a very special guest. We have the person who brings the Coleman to the Vaughn. We have Vaughn Coleman. How you doing, buddy?
I thought I really brought the Vaughn to the Coleman. I mean, the Coleman family was around, but I'll take it. It's good. It's been good, man. It's always stressful, getting a new campaign, but I'm feeling good. And the thing about me too is I shot myself in the foot inherently knowing, but I also knew, that I wanted to keep the momentum going, and I might as well have something new to sell during this time. January, it's no secret, is not the best time to launch a campaign. Not the best time to launch anything, but also people buy comics in January. People go see movies in January. The fact of the matter is if people want it enough, they'll get it. And if they have to wait, they'll be reminded of it constantly. And by the time they have money, aha! Issue 1 is done. Issue 2, a lot of stuff is slowing down on production, but it actually ended up working in my favor because it gives me time to set stuff up, build new things in motion. And I've been kind of figuring out what I'm doing with my channel, but lately it's been popping off, man. I've been doing Sonic videos. They're popping off, man, because the new Sonic movie,
magnificent.
All right. That is a perfect segue into our headlines. But before we do that, we need to introduce our very amazing co-host. First off, we have the man for whom Rooftop Korean is his favorite gender. We have Chris Fisk.
Hey, 여보세요.
And next up, we have JoJo's biggest stan. We have the protector of the chows. We have Nyx.
Hey.
And we do have Keely here. They're doing a greeting. Hey. Let's launch into these headlines, shall we?
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, past hysteria.
All right. So this is Headline Hysteria. We're talking about all the topics that are important, just not important enough for a full stream. And Disney is a salty little mother effer.
Yeah, what's going on? I keep hearing about that because I thought it was just clickbait, and honestly, I ignored it. I was like, oh, they must be salty. What are they doing? What's Disney doing?
So Disney released Mufasa, their latest live-action slop that nobody really wants.
Yeah.
And Sonic is actually the #1 movie in America.
2 weekends in a row, right? I want to see it again. I want to see all of them again.
And nice. Disney is just claiming they're the #1 movie in America. But then they're also pulling their dirty tricks to where they're like, you have to dedicate all of your theaters to Mufasa or else you'll never see us again.
Oh, the Nintendo.
What?
That is a trick they've done multiple times.
Yeah, it's Monopoly.
Fuck Disney.
It's a shakedown.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely. I gotta say, since it's been 2 weeks, I'm ripping the spoiler Band-Aid off. Amy Rose is in the mid-credit scene, so there. We're spoilers.
And she looks actually kind of great.
She looks good. Someone noticed the headband. She looks a little different, but
they all do, though. To be fair,
no Sally Acorn.
Yeah, why is everyone? It seems like the Sally Acorn fans are always coping because she's like erased from canon. She was never really canon, right?
I mean, she was in one cartoon in the mid-90s.
Yeah.
And never seen again. I don't get the lasting power of her character.
Yeah, there's people she was, because Amy Rose was they put in the instruction manual for the Americans because they think Americans are dumb. They're like, this is Sally Acorn, and then you play the game, you're like, that's clearly not Sally Acorn. That's not even.
Why did they even make the character if they already had Amy Rose?
No, they didn't already have Amy Rose.
It's because American canon and Japanese.
Wait, right?
Canon...
What came out first, Sonic CD or Sonic Sat IM? Is that what it's from, right? Sonic Sat IM.
Wasn't one of the pitches for the Saturn Sonic game supposed to be a Saturday
93 September 18, 1993. Okay, now Sonic CD I think came out that same year. So when did Sonic CD come out? September. Ooh, that's close. That is close.
Well,
That's
Well,
like
they're
5 days apart. Holy shit.
well, that clearly illustrates a lack of coordination between the two companies.
which,
Oh,
to
yeah.
be fair, Sega of America and Sega Japan were not coordinating at that time.
No,
I
they
know,
weren't. Well,
and
they would
that's
straight
a
up
shame.
change stuff that the Japanese said, and it's like, why would you do that? And a lot of the changes, I was like, why? Because I'm looking into Sonic history, and it's like they would just change shit for. Well, did you know Robotnik was never supposed to be his name?
Yeah, it was
Eggman.
Eggman.
It was Egg, just because I grew up on him as Eggman. And then they were like, oh, he's actually Robotnik. And I remember seeing. Remember the 2010s? How everyone decided Sonic was always bad. And then,
Oh. I'm sure you saw that JonTron clip that's been circulating around.
what is that?
What?
Where review Sonic R, and this is how you can tell this is early 2010s clip. He says, "Oh, and the worst part about Sonic R is the music."
So,
Yeah, I mean, well, I think it's not.
Takes innovates poorly.
I guess. I mean, I don't think it's particularly great. Can
Well, the
you
consensus
feel the
is
sunshine?
Well, the consensus
Yes.
is the best part about Sonic R is the music. That's kind of the general consensus nowadays.
People
man.
are. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I haven't played Sonic R. I don't really, you know.
It's pretty fun. It's janky as heck, but it's fun.
Yeah. At least it's not that running Sonic game. What's the one on the Sega CD or no?
That's
It's
it. That's Sonic R, right?
I thought you guys were talking about the surfboard,
No, it's Sonic Riders.
Oh, Sonic Riders. Okay, yeah.
Oh, that
Sonic
was like
R is
GameCube era.
absolute trash.
I guess the
dude.
R would stand for racing, or I
Yeah.
don't know why they didn't just call it like or
Nobody
Sonic
play
Running.
tested that. That you could tell nobody at the whoever made that game even play tested it.
Well, all right. My first game was Sonic Heroes, ladies and gentlemen.
Nice.
Also, to be fair, I played Sonic R on the PC in the 90s, so you know I had a jank experience.
Dude, the legit copy was a piece of crap. Like you can't stay on the track. Like it was like what? Who designed this? They're just like they'll just throw the Sonic logo or brand on it, and people will buy any of this crap. You know, like this.
Well,
is
it was because
Sonic
they didn't have they needed a Sonic game. Like, all right, we had this crappy Sonic racing game. Okay, fine, that works.
Yeah, and it's like they already had Sonic Drift on the Game Gear. Hell, they could have even they could have made an arcade port of Sega Sonic, which would have been freaking awesome.
Well, have you guys seen the videos of Sonic Extreme?
Dude, I have a new Sonic theory. As soon as I came up with one, I've been coming up with them rapid for Sonic 4. Oh, wait, sorry, we're back on the game. I mean,
Well, there is a Sonic 4, and it sucks.
Oh yeah.
well, I know that. I'm talking about for the Sonic 4 movie.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Because I've been my theory videos have been popping off. And I think I'm gonna do a lot more Sonic videos. I have more to say, and I'm like, why don't we do them in videos? We keep doing it in live streams. I'm like, this is leaving views on the table. And I've been making them as videos where I just ramble. I don't even have to edit it, and people like it. But I think there's a few possible theories. Do we want to go into that? No.
Let's make that a separate stream, shall we?
Okay.
Because we're here to bitch about our fellow creators. Oh wait, no, we're not. Vince Guyver.
Oh, okay.
Damn.
I went there.
Yeah. First time.
Possibly because I try to stay out of that crap.
I normally do too, but yeah.
The Pedro
Hey,
Pascal.
RJ.
It's not Pedro Pascal. It's fucking.
No, the meme where he goes first time.
I know that's not Pedro Pascal.
That was John. That was the
James Franco.
Yeah, him.
Pedro Pascal is in every movie all the time.
No, there's another first time one where it's like it shows him in a car and it shows I think it's like Woody Harrelson freaking out and then it goes over to Pedro
that's a
Pascal and he's
TikTok
happy.
meme. That's a TikTok meme thing.
Yeah.
You fool.
All right, so indie comics, you gotta love them. 3 out of the 4 people here are indie comic creators. The other one is Vaughn Coleman.
No. I was unaware. All right. Dude, I'm watching my comics just disappear from my hand. Oh, no.
Marty, we have to go back.
I am inevitable. But no,
man.
so yeah, we're indie creators here, and I just wanted to share, like, it wasn't really take to succeed because there's a lot of people that'll tell you different things.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you this: no one has all the answers. I'll say that right out the gate. and the market is constantly shifting. Like even then, people were like, I kind of got into a little bit today where I just told someone I think they had a bad take, and people I respect on both sides are like, I agree, I don't agree, I agree, I don't agree. I think like, for example, and this is the tough part. Part of why I had almost choice paralysis when launching my book is choosing a price point, because I'm like, if I do this, then I can never go down, and it's like, well, you would just have to do certain things and whatever. But I mean, to start with, I would say there's two things you need to do above all else. First of all, you need to make sure your comic is good, and there's a lot of criteria, obviously.
Above all else.
Second of all, you need to make sure that you market it well. Good doesn't mean perfect, right? And people are gonna have different. I've had different people give opposing criticisms. I had people tell me Phenomenova was too slow and too fast. Both, people.
Yeah, my advice when it comes to criticism is you can take like one person's criticism, but to me is when you have like a bunch of people saying relatively the same thing.
Yeah.
Then that actually might be something like that's like a very like take individual people as you wish. But if you have like 15 people are saying, "Hey, this character was really unlikable. I didn't like them," then it might have some credence to it.
Right.
Well, part of my day job as a UX designer is qualitative analysis, and you have to take all feedback, even the deconstruct, the destructive feedback, the stuff that is completely unproductive. Just put it away in a nice little pile.
Yeah, it doesn't mean don't listen to it. You might just be like, I don't see it, or you might see something in it, even if you don't like it, specifically.
Yeah, anybody that gives you money, their voice needs to be heard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No,
don't
that
disrespect your customers.
Don't disrespect your customers. Now, there's two things can be true. I've seen a trend where people go, I backed this person and they said a thing I disagree with. This is horrible. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
If you back someone, so Chris Claremont is my favorite writer. So because I gave him money and buy his stuff, that means he has to share all my views? Absolutely not.
No.
That's obscene. That is obscene. Or like I've seen in the indie space, people go, I back this person. I'm not backing them anymore because they don't like X or they don't. And it's like, okay, I understand everyone has their limits, their breaking points where they're like, I have to separate from this person. But one of the things you want to create stuff that's so good that people can't help but back you, even if they disagree with you.
I mean, look at Alan Moore. The guy is a certified lunatic.
People make excuses for you to justify their worldview if they like your stuff enough.
Yeah,
there's so many times I've talked to like conservative creators, and like I remember one time they were like, well, Chris Claremont, it was a more conservative audience. Like he wrote conservatively. I'm like, no, he didn't. Like that was genuinely, I was like, he wrote like a lot of gay characters and he was pretty open about, like people were like, well, he wrote. I was like, I don't think so.
Well, it's because the liberals of the 70s and the 80s are not the liberals of today. I think that's where the confusion comes from.
I know, but they were like, he didn't write conservatively, in my opinion. But that's neither here nor there.
The only thing I can say is the Overton window has shifted so far to the left.
Yeah.
That left
anything right of Stalin. Yeah, anything right of Stalin is considered far right extreme.
Yeah, I guess. But so anyway, back
to keep in mind, people are really freaking stupid.
What? This is a new concept.
Oh
no. People are so smart, man.
Well,
really
it's
what?
It's tribalism, guys. It's
yeah. Speaking of tribalism, I guess that comes to marketing as well. One of the things you struggle is eventually people will start pandering and trying to get. I wanted to get this person's approval, and you realize that, and I think that's part of why I didn't grow as an audience. Is now I see myself doing it. I'm like, I want to keep appeasing the Sonic crowd. It's like I'm going to do it until I don't feel like making those videos anymore.
And you see that in the indie scene as well, because we have all these factions. You have people being like, I want to appease CG. I'm not going to say the actual name.
Yeah.
And so they try and appease them. And it just, never works out.
This is what is good in it's like, no, stop. All right. If you're going to be an independent comic book creator, be an independent comic book creator. That means, and this is another thing I'll say, if your audience can be taken away like that by somebody else, they're not your audience.
Well,
yep.
Well, you remember the gotcha of, what was your favorite part of book X?
Yeah.
Like a lot of these people don't even read the books they back. It's to belong. It's part of the cult of personality.
Mm-hmm.
And that saddens me because I got into indie comics because all of the mainstream stuff went to shit. And it depressed the hell out of me when all of these companies that I had spent thousands upon thousands of dollars and years of my life investing in decided one day that they don't want me as a customer. So I started making my own shit so I could geek out with indie shit. And it turns out that it's the same fucking song. Sorry.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I have a list of indie comics to read, to be fair. Too many. Even some in the corner right there, which I'll have to go through. But, I think a lot of people are going to go back to the mainstream because of it, because you're waiting longer, you're paying more, and it's just not worth it for a lot of people. I mean, is it really? And so that's why you want to make as good of a customer experience. And that's why I think crowdfunding also, a lot of people have had so many bad experiences with crowdfunding.
Right here,
That they're you back a book and you wait 2 years and the artist is too busy trying to dunk on Eric July on streams.
2 years.
How about this one, dude?
I'm going mask off.
I made an API that queried all of my Indiegogo backing, and it turned out that I had an ROI of 41%.
That's not good.
That's less than half. Yeah.
There's a lot of back. Yeah, and I also, for me personally, I say don't take labels. Because people are like, Iron Age is movement. Iron Age is an age. Well, if it's an age, why then
I have had so many I have had so many,
and I'm not against it. If people call me that, like people have retweeted my stuff #Comicsgate, and it's like, if you see me as, I've had people tell me that I am both anti and pro, and I'm like, I don't know.
I'll sit with anybody.
And then I'm like, and I remember I got in a lot of trouble for. It's funny because I maintained the same stance the entire time. And then suddenly my stance was controversial. I'm like, I've been saying that for years. Like they were like, I was like, people say I'm pro or anti-comics game. I'm Vaughn. I'm just Vaughn. I don't know. Like, and then they were like, wow, you can't do that. I'm like, I did.
Yeah, that was the thing that I had to learn, because like I tried to join these other movements, and I tried to join these people, and I kept getting, it wasn't for me. I was like, what, screw it. I'm going to be my own person.
That's it.
I don't care what movement you're a part of. You can be Comicsgate, Iron Age, Rippaverse. I don't care who you are. If you're a cool person, we're cool. We're cool. I'm going to do my comics. I'll talk to whoever. Obviously, there's people I don't like. I just avoid them. I don't talk about them.
Yeah.
And I think that's the other thing is, yes, there's naturally, you're going to have beefs with other people. You're going to have people. The worst thing you can do is talk crap about people you don't like. That is highly unprofessional. Okay, you don't have to like them, and you don't have to interact with them.
Hang on. I'm going to clarify. You just talked a little bit of crap, so let's not pretend like everyone's above that. We've been talking shit about the mainstream. We've been so this is where we have to say you just can't make it your entire personality, but to offer criticism is fine. Oh, God.
The anti-Eric people are...
That's what I'm saying. If you're putting off your work to continually, for years, to continually dunk on other people, then that shows your priorities lie. You want to put your passion, and this is what I always do. I always lean with my passions. What am I passionate about? And if you're passionate about, other things more than creating or the arts, that might not, then maybe this isn't the place, I say another thing is you have to be prepared if you're doing indie comics to spend more time than almost too much time promoting and spending it on social media. And often I have to pry myself away because it becomes too much. And I realize I'm spending too much time and I can't write right now because I keep coming back to this. And sometimes you realize you keep coming up with new tasks to stay on. You have to force yourself to unplug sometimes, but you have to also force yourself back in. You have to make it a routine.
This is
networking is everything. I have a I have a spreadsheet that I keep adding to. I just added to it, I think twice today, of shows that, because people kept asking me, Vaughn, what shows did you get on? I was like, and I guess I just started making a list. I think I have like 70 something shows that are on this list. So
damn.
I'm hoping this one's on there.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, cool. Yeah, networking is definitely key. One thing, like one common advice is like you always got to be grinding. You always got to be grinding. Like I very much disagree with that, because that is a recipe for burnout.
Yep.
Like work hard, but always budget yourself in some like rest times. And
I need to
time.
learn that. Yeah, I need to learn that. I just scheduled a lot of stuff, like even to the point where it was like Christmas Eve, and I was like, I gotta be working, and I was like, no, I don't. I really actually.
Yeah.
You know, I struggle with that. I've become a bit of a workaholic.
Like you're promoting your book. I understand why you're doing the grindstone.
But
also,
you know, like for example,
hey,
making those
Immortal,
Sonic videos,
ya.
I realize I kind of enjoy them. They're not feeling too much like work right now. You know, sometimes it will feel like work, but you want to like get stuff you're passionate about. And then another piece of advice, just talk about stuff you're passionate about. Make video. Like for example, I've been making videos where I literally just sit down and I go, here's what I think, blah, blah, blah. And those videos got like 7,000 views, you know? Sometimes you got to just.
You want to know what the most successful content on my channel is?
What?
My gaming streams. Like I play Legend of Zelda for 4 hours and I get like tons of views. I play KOTOR with my girlfriend. I get over 100 views. You know, it's like, people seem to like my gaming stream. So you know what I'm gonna do? More gaming streams. That's what guys like.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta. Let's see. There's a bunch of stuff, you know. Yeah.
Sorry if I took the wind out of your sails.
No. I was thinking. Well, I was looking at something and I lost my train of thought. Like my old videos where I used to talk about injustice, the algorithm also craves consistency. This is the tough part. YouTube is different from Twitter, which is different from Facebook, and Instagram are tough. You know, but I would say even in real life, you'll be surprised where you could find customers everywhere. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
You know?
Don't limit yourself to one platform. Or
one audience. Don't.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I have a really big Twitter following, and a lot of my engagement, a lot of my success comes from, like, driving my Twitter followers elsewhere. Like, if you look at my crowdfunding campaigns, like, 70% of my funding comes from Twitter.
Yes,
and that's
Twitter.
cool. That's great. That's great.
Twitter has been my biggest form of growth. To the point, it's the most addictive, so it's kind of. I remember I would delete it many times, but now I need it.
Yeah,
Twitter. It is the most addicting. It is the. Yeah, I would say the least conversion you get is TikTok.
That's weird because everyone says like TikTok is like great for engagement. Like they.
It is, but they don't follow you on other platforms. Is what I've noticed.
Oh, so it's like great for engagement within the platform.
Well, I made some friends on there actually.
Yeah, little conversion.
Well, that's what some people have told me. But I mean, I follow people from others, but I'm the exception.
Oh, this old man did this novel, and then his daughter posted on it. Oh, now the novel's a bestseller or some stuff like that.
It's possible. I mean, that does happen. It's weird too. TikTok's like the ones that would blow up. It just depends. So far, Sonic seems to be the best regard. Except for Twitter, I haven't been able to tap into that, and that's I don't know.
Well, one thing I've learned from
fuck you. First of all, Twitter, I did twice. I did which Sonic characters are you excited to see in the next one?
Yeah.
No one responded. What the hell, guys? Come on.
One thing I've noticed on Twitter, and somebody said it, I can't remember who, but it was very good advice, is nobody cares about your product. On Twitter, don't post about your product, post about you, and then guide people to your product. Because the algorithms, the engagement, and I've seen it firsthand. I post stuff. I post amazing art from my commissioned art. I get maybe under 50, 50 under 50 likes. I post a reply to something that I actually care about, be it political, be it a toy thing or whatever, or Sonic movie, whatever. Something I'm getting like 3,000. I got 10,000 likes on something. Like the engagement is very skewed. Yeah,
I will say I've had tweets get like millions of impressions. Mm-hmm. Like I think some had like tens of millions. They're always like the stupidest shit, and they're always like memes or whatever. But I will disagree slightly. I get most of my engagement off of memes, mm-hmm. but also giving updates on my comics when I say, oh, look, it's Screecher is shipping. Oh, look who's got this. Look who's got that. That actually does get me a big uptick. But yeah, the memes themselves.
Yeah, I've just got reply. Like I'm just noticing it from me, and then when I saw somebody that's a lot larger than me or had a larger following or whatever said, don't you're not selling your book, you're selling you. And when you're on social media, especially Twitter, hey, buy my book. Here's my cool advertisement. The brain turns off and it goes, oh, it's advertisement. And
here's how you do it. You talk
I'm
about
looking
how
at it, what I
you
get
talk
the
about how
most
you like
engagement-
Legend of Zelda. I'm sorry, Vaughn. Sorry.
No, go ahead. I was going to say what I get most engagement on seems to be my comics, actually, as opposed to something else.
Interesting.
The thing is, people don't necessarily buy your comics. They don't support the comics. They support you.
Yeah.
So the way to do it is you talk about how you like Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
And you have all the people who are Legend of Zelda fans. And then you say, hey, I'm doing this comic. You want to support me? Oh, you're a fellow Legend of Zelda fan.
Yes,
I like your take
that's
on
what I'm
Legend of
doing with
Zelda.
Sonic.
I'm going to support you.
That's
Or in your case, Vaughn's, you're going to release your comic. And I'll think, I really like Vaughn's takes on Sonic. Oh,
Yeah,
he's got
or
a comic
whatever.
out. I'm going to support a fellow Sonic fan.
Yeah, that's what I'm deciding to just make more content about the shit I like and just talk about it. And then just say at the end of that, hey, if you like the way I talk about this, I have my comic book.
Yep.
Oh, you're a fellow insert whatever fan? Okay, cool. And that's what I think I need to really lean more into, because it's also like, you can't just pull from one thing. Everyone has like something that they're a fan of, and that person who created that might be a fan of things you've never even heard of. Might have
if you do like Vaughn, I'm sorry, I interrupted you. I just
no, go. No, you know what? Honestly, I gotta go, man. This is too much. I'm kidding. I'm screwing with you.
I'm sorry. I am so glad it's so small, because like if you could see my face right now, it's like
I can.
Oh.
No, I can. You did a big reaction. I thought it was obvious that I was kidding. Was I that convincing?
Clip that.
Dude, I was so like obviously joking. You were like, dude, what?
Oh,
Like you're
sorry,
promoting my book. Why would I be mad at you?
And that was the best part. I was literally going to pull your fucking book up.
I know. I was busting your balls, man. I was clearly kidding.
Oh my god!
I'm so done with this shit.
You know what? Honestly,
so Vaughn, tell us about your book.
So Phenomenova issue 2 is, of course, the follow-up to Phenomenova issue 1. This is 24 pages and follows our main hero, Galvanite, Miles Hanksley, as he starts out on his journey to begin his training. So in this world, superheroes fought during World War III, as well as, villains. And the Phoenix Senshi is one such superhero fought during the war. The Phoenix Senshi meaning warrior in Japanese. So she... of course, you will learn about her backstory as well as some more of Miles's in this issue. Yeah, this cover, I'll give a story on that. But, basically, he's beginning his training. He's kind of shedding his makeshift costume. This is thematically what's going on.
You have Gabe do the cover?
Man who's in the future. Who?
Gabe El-Taib, is this Gabe?
No.
This
is the same interior colorist and main cover artist colorist of the first issue. However, the interiors are a different colorist.
Okay.
So Jesse Hagee did this, and then there's the second cover. That is the training uniform, kind of like how the New Mutants and the original X-Men had their costumes. He has his generic Phenomenova uniform. So basically, in this world, he is being trained to be a superhero, to learn his powers, and to join a team called Phenomenova. Now, we have not seen Phenomenova yet. We are going to see them in issue 3, but that is the first member of Phenomenova we see. This chick,
I like this cover.
Estrella is the first member of Phenomenova we're going to meet. So she is a detective as well as a superhero and member of Phenomenova. So
I love the whole Lady Justice vibe.
Yeah,
going on. Like I picked up on that.
So that again, I gave my artists more freedom with the covers in this issue. So Estrella is deaf and blind, and she can sense the world through psychometry. She could read essentially the memories in real time of the world around her. And she can, through people's permission, she can absorb people's memories. She can absorb the memories of a place, which is what makes her such a great detective. She can psychically link people when they go into combat. And then we have the fan art contest.
Nice.
And then, of course, we have... so Estrella is a member of Phenomenova and a detective. You will see the rest of Phenomenova. Actually, technically in the back of issue 1, because you're going to see the cover. Issue 2. So issue 1 was dedicated to my dad. Issue 2 is dedicated to his brother, my Uncle Scott. There is a character based off of him, but you won't see him right away. But yeah.
That's
and then
great, actually.
Then, of course, we have this was supposed to be the 20K stretch goal for issue 1, but we didn't make that. But I'm like, I'm keeping this art. We're making it the day 1 trading card for issue 2. So Golden Gallon is not in issue 2, but he's a key figure in our universe and a key figure with issue 1. So you can get that. But also, if you back it, you will get that Hotline trading card because I didn't end up putting her that prominently on a cover.
Hotline. Oh, I love that name.
When I came up with that, I was at first like, oh, is it? And I'm like, no, that's perfect. So initially her name was so bad, I don't even want to say it. So I'm not going to. But it was like that tech support character was just this stupid character. And I was like, why don't I come up with something better? It was like I was rewriting my script and I was like, this is going to be a repeating character. Do I really want to keep this stupid ass name? And I was like, no. And then I came up with I was like, well, let's make her hot. And I'm like, well, Hotline, because she's their hotline. She's like, hey, I'm Hotline.
I love it. I love it.
She's also based on my friend Succesful, right? In terms of appearances, which she loved. So if you look her up, she looks very similar. So that is Hotline. Dan Dahl did that trading card. So I was going to actually, fun fact about the Estrella cover, her name was Lady Justice, and then I changed it because that was too common. So that was supposed to be, that artist is just did a Vampirella book for Dynamite. And so I was hiring that artist to do a hot chick cover, and I gave him a layout idea. And then he did a thumbnail that I told him to do. He goes, oh, while I was doing it, I just also did this one in case you wanted to look at it. And this is the second one that he just did. I didn't even ask him to do it. And I go, no, screw it. We're doing this one. Because this one he just came up with on his own. I didn't even, what I hired him to do, he didn't even end up doing. In fact, it was going to be the 2 girls on that cover because it was supposed to be all the female characters. And then I was like, no, if they're on the scale, it should be the guy training and the woman training him. So the character
great
that
cover,
I hired,
actually. Really great.
The 2 characters the one character I hired him to draw didn't even end up making the cover, but it doesn't matter because the cover is so cool. Sometimes, and this is one of the things I'm getting better at, you just have to go. You just have to say, you know what? Screw it. And I'm getting better at doing that. And then the last cover is the Don Edwards cover. That's going to be a fun My Comics.
All right. So this goes live tonight, correct?
This goes live at 8 o'clock. So head on over to my channel and check that out. Now, we'll be on Kickstarter. Yeah, check out the trailer. So it does kind of spoil issue 1, the trailer, but it is issue 1. So, it's not. It'll make you want to read issue 1.
I just want it to be like the Crusader Corps. Like my father. I thought with my new powers I could be. But I failed. I let everyone down. I got people hurt. I just wanted to make the world a better place. And instead I made things worse. But now I have the chance to make things right with the help of one of the Crusader Corps. The Phoenix section. And I will. I have to. Whatever it takes. I will find Sparky.
Not bad, sir.
Yeah, I think my trailer was better this time than issue 1. It's fun. And again, speaking of letting things go, there was the climactic part of the trailer music that I initially picked, and then I ended up cutting that out entirely and keeping it slow throughout.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. So I wish you nothing but success, sir.
Oh, yeah.
And if anyone here liked what they saw, Vaughn will be streaming it at 8 p.m. on his channel.
Mm-hmm.
And buy the book. Buy the book. So
yeah, I wanted to
we now return to our regular bitching.
Yeah. Oh, I'm bitching. I was just getting started. But Phenomenova basically is it's like a the next generation of superheroes rising up, and people are already requesting a prequel with that World War III team, which I would love to do, but I want to keep Phenomenova going, and then once I can guarantee that, because I had one book, but I want to get the next, and then keep the hype going. I want people to be begging for a Crusader Core, because I do intend on delivering it, but let's keep Phenomenova going. Phenomenova, I want to be my ongoing.
I would say if there is one mistake that I made in my career, I feel like I spread myself a little bit too thin.
I've been doing that. Yes,
with the multiple books.
Yeah, I wanted to do multiple. Initially, I was planning on doing multiple this year, and I was like, you know what? No, I think I'm just going to keep it to Phenomenova issue 1 and Phenomenova issue 2.
Yeah.
I have another I want to make, and I'm going to put I did a 10-pager that had a hot chick, a Western with a hot chick, which I know that book is going to sell well. But so I'm like, maybe I'll do that this year, but only I'm going to put out the free chapter. And then if people are like begging for it, then I'll do it. But, only if I know for a fact that one's going to make money, because Phenomenova is the one I'm going to keep. I at least want to break even.
Yeah, I think you will. Yeah, but definitely.
Well, printing costs have gone up.
Oh yeah, they have. I had a rude awakening last year because I was used to color my comics for like a 20-page comic. Up until 2024, I was paying on average between $2, $2.20, $2.30, $2.40 ish. Yes, Immortal Rising, hot if we need help. Yes, yeah. They very much do. I could confirm. So yeah, that was what I was getting. But in 2024, the cost was actually getting to be like $280, $299.
It's bad.
Yeah, and that was through Comics Wellspring, and they were probably one of the cheaper ones out there too.
I haven't done Comics Wellspring yet.
The people who work there are pretty good, but I will say they kind of moved offices, and things have kind of gone down a bit. I don't want to be too critical of them because they've been very good to me, but yeah.
Okay, got it. Keep that because I like my printer, but oh my god, is it expensive? I have two.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that helps is Comics Wellspring is like an hour drive from where I live. So on those big orders where it's 200, 500 comics, I just drive up there, pick them up, and I save myself a crap ton of money in shipping.
Oh yeah, nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, great characters.
Oh, I'm in agreement with that. I always think my characters inside and out. I'm just because I actually when I was writing my hot chick story, I was like, well, this is going to get boring if she's just that. So she became one of my favorite characters, actually. So I would love to do that, but I'm focused on Phenomenova right now. But I would love to. I almost considered leading with that book, but I kind of did in a way because it's a 10-pager that was published. But yeah.
Sometimes it's best just to go with your gut because I don't know how many times I got the advice oh, nobody wants superheroes anymore.
Oh, me too. I got that.
And people want originality. So I did a samurai book, Torn Samurai, and it wasn't a failure. I'm not to be fair, it got funded, it has fans, but then I did Screecher, which is I am very honest that it's a Batman inspired book, and that's the thing, and people latched onto it. That's what they like.
Yeah. Don't pander. That's another thing I will say. And in the theme of so many people told me we don't want to see an origin story. We don't want to see this. And Phenomenova, you know what? It really resonated with a lot of people. Despite at every step before I was even in the crowdfunding scene, I would pitch a story. I've had people that like it, but I got more no's than yeses on the story. But then once I really started telling the story well, then it caught on. That's the truth of the matter. It's okay if it's similar to other things. When it's channeled through you.
Hey, John.
Hey.
I'll say some of the biggest feedback I got for Screecher was it was a bit too fast. There was a lot of people gave feedback about her knowing her stuff too early or whatever. And and like the letter she got from the company being like way too unrealistic. And the thing is, I got that a bunch of times, and so for me, I'm like, okay, I'm getting like a lot of people are giving me this very similar feedback, so I should probably take in consideration going forward.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. But another thing I would say, try and make it accessible to everyone. All right, so piece of advice I can give myself. You want to give extras, you want to incentivize every action, like give something for day one backers and something that everyone can get who backs the book that others won't get. Like that I understand, but I gave way too much for too little funding last time. And here's the thing. I made a great first impression, so don't dwell on your mistakes. But I did not need to give 2 trading cards, 2 mini prints, and a sticker. Because there were streams I'd come on, and Peter Simeti at one point was even like, Vaughn, yeah, you've been going off on all the variant covers and everything. You haven't even told us about the story.
Yeah.
So I was so caught up in the bonuses that I kind of lost track of what brought me here in the first place.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of the reason why people back these is for the extra Chotskis. Like that is important. Like having a campaign exclusive cover.
Yes.
Because that is often is pretty important. Like trading card stickers.
But that's extra incentive. You have to sell the book first, then have that help sell the book.
Not only that, but initiates aren't as likely to adopt extra stuff unless they are already familiar with the product. So if it's your first, foray into a story or into a brand, you're less likely to sell all that, auxiliary
Who gives a
stuff.
shit about a trading card for a character I've never read before? And that was one of the things. And now, but the thing is, the people that went on the ground floor early, now they're like, people were like, oh, his makeshift costume is stupid. And then people were saying, I kind of miss it when they saw the issue 2 covers. I'm like, oh, well, if you were back day 1, you could have gotten the trading card.
And it's like,
then now they're going up in value.
All right. I'm going to go
extra ones that I'll sell at
cons. I'm going to go grab something. I want to show you. So I had an ex-girlfriend make this for me for Valentine's Day one year. And I really want to put this in the production, but where are you, girl?
Is this the wooble?
The what?
The wooble, the crochet?
Oh, yeah. He knows what's coming.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah, take a look at this.
Nice. That's cool.
It's so sweet.
But spreading yourself too thin is definitely a thing that I've done a million times.
Yeah.
I think I'm in danger of doing it again, so I gotta try and focus. Because I always, like, even today, I was like, oh, I'll just write a small to-do list for tomorrow, and now it's taking up a whole page.
like that's why I put Turn Samurai on hold, because
by the way, when it says terrorist attacks, that's just for me to look into it. I'm not committing terrorist attacks. For me to read these articles to clarify. Because I held that up in no context. I'm like, oh yeah, all right, I need to explain that.
Yeah, that's gonna be screenshotted.
Yeah. Not because it has a name of someone I know, but it's not.
But no, yeah, that's why I put Turn Samurai on hold, because the last campaign actually underperformed. John, quit making lies.
What's the lie? That it's not for him, or that it exists?
The thing is, Screecher is supposed to be an all ages comic. If I was doing like an adult cheesecake book, then I actually would be open to the idea of a boob mouse pad. But
so it's just a butt cheek mouse pad.
Yeah, that's what you have to settle for.
But no, getting back, like I would love to be able to sell plushies, and I know they'd sell because I've seen people, like, they see this, they actually think it's really cool. If I could sell these for like $30, I'd probably make a killing.
I wish the accolades translated to sales though, because like I got a lot of that's cool 3D prints, blah 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 blah. Literally sold 0 of them at the
a lot of people will say stuff is cool, but they don't always sell. The simpler stuff often sells the best.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Appreciate it, Peter Venkman. That is always appreciated. But yeah, and it's like, yeah, like, sure, I had a cool cyberpunk samurai, black, white, and red. Interesting concept. Like, I like the book. It's just, maybe it was just too unfamiliar for people. like people like what's familiar, you know.
That's
like that's why we as creators we often do like, oh, this is like our take on Batman, our X-Men, our Spider-Man kind of thing, you know.
And you know what's funny is no matter what your inspirations are, there will be people that go, it kind of reminds me of this. And I'm like, sometimes it'll be like an anime you've never seen. You're like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I remember
Joseph Campbell was correct.
Yeah. Like
every story's already been told.
Perfect example. When I was doing Turn Samurai, a lot of people were saying that Turn Samurai reminded them of Samurai Jack. I've never actually seen an episode of Samurai Jack in my life.
No need.
Yeah, I don't think I have either, actually, funny enough.
Oh, wow.
Speaking of anime, another comparison was Blade the Immortal. People brought up for that one.
Oh, damn. Does he have worms in him?
No. No. But that actually does give me a cool idea for a Turn Samurai story. But yeah, so the thing that I always say is write with passion, write well.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be the first fan of your story, because if you're excited about a story, if you're passionate about it, it will show up in your work. The worst thing you could do is to write a story that you're not passionate about, because it will show up in the quality.
And by the way, when I say shows up in the work, there are people that have really passionate about the stories, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like that. When you say it has to show up in your work, it has to show up in the work. It has to. You have to have clarity. Like there are people that'll have criticisms, whatever, but generally speaking, everyone who reads Phenomenova gets it. They might have, if they have a criticism, they'll be like, well, that you understood the story, you just had a crit. That is important. A sign of amateur storytelling is when you don't know what the hell is happening.
Yeah.
And that's why you got to get other people who are unfamiliar to read your book.
Mm-hmm.
If you're afraid of getting people to read your book, but you have the confidence to ask people for money for it, you slimy, you can't do that. You can't do that.
Well, one issue that I've had is I try to get like actual feedback, and a lot of people are too nice. Like I would rather watch a review. I would rather watch a review of someone who tore my book to shreds than
somebody kisses your ass.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Because I feel like that
it's not helpful. It's not helpful.
The negative review, I'd learn more from it than the positive.
Yeah, like why didn't it work? Why did this work for you? Why didn't this work for you? Like even if someone goes, I liked it. What did you like about it? This, then that. Like, oh, okay.
Well, you need actionable details as well.
Yeah, if something works for you, obviously you don't want to interrogate. But like my sister would be like, for example, it's like it worked, and I'm like, why did it work? I mean, I don't know. I guess I just like this. Oh, okay, that worked. Okay, that resonated. Okay.
Well, if you get a lot of people
a general learns more from their losses than they do their victories, because a loss tells you what doesn't work. A victory doesn't tell you anything.
Well, again, as my day job, UX, like it's all about.
Victory. I disagree. A victory does tell you something because it tells you what did it take you to get to that point. Especially if you lost before the victory, then when you finally get the victory, you can understand. Well, it didn't work here, but it works here because of this. Normally, victories come off of the backs of defeats.
Yes and no. The problem with victories is it could be for X reason, or it could be for some. Like for example, let's say you're in war. Let's say the general was sick that day with the flu, and that's why you won. It's not because of your brilliant tactic. It's because the general got flu and the army didn't know what to do.
Well, it could be for multiple tactics, though, because that's the thing. There's this. Yeah. It could be they got the flu, but the primary reason they lost is they got the flu and they didn't have a good backup.
You guys
you took that. They had the flu and you pivoted accordingly and you won. So you're looking at it a very.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm just saying.
I get it.
Well, you guys remember the story about the engineers that were looking at the airplanes that returned after battles, right? And they were looking at the damage of the planes, and the engineers were looking at how to keep their how to keep their pilots and their crew alive based on Well, look at these planes. They're coming down, they're coming back and they've got bullet holes all through the fuselage or whatever. Oh, well, we should put more thicker metal or armaments there, right? It's like, no, because those are the planes that returned. The ones that didn't return are the ones that you should be analyzing.
Right,
for,
that's a good
you know,
point. That's a good point.
Pivot. I don't know why he's saying it, but okay.
He's saying because you have to pivot when you lose, I think.
Yeah.
Or when you have when your failure to pivot. This is what I'm extrapolating. Is that okay? If your general is sick, you have to pivot. Unless, of course, I'm completely wrong and he said that in a different context. But yeah, I mean, there's so much to get into. There's so many aspects of what works, what doesn't. Ultimately, though, we got to understand. Like now, I'm afraid because I'm like, oh god, so much of what worked in issue 1, well, issue 2 is now totally different, and I'm like, well, did my writing work? Okay, well, I'm writing it again, so that's something. You know, it's different.
I think that leads into another piece of advice that I would give is
overthinking is a big problem too.
Yeah, that's actually what I was leading into. Is there kind of comes a point where you just throw everything out the window and just go.
Yeah, I decided that. I kept thinking issue 2. Oh man, it's so much slower than issue 1. It's kind of like in one place, and every time I read it, I'm like, oh man, I kind of actually by the end I like it, and then I reread it. Like I always have that first read through where I'm like, ugh, and then I go back. I'm like, well, what didn't I like about it? All right, let me go through again. Oh, it's actually good. I just was, you know, and it's ultimately it's like everyone who's read issue 2 so far likes it. That's the truth, you know, because I'll be like, oh my God, is it too slow? It's a training issue. And I'm like, well, why did I want to do the trading issue? For this. And I felt it was good enough to make one issue out of, correct? Yes. I felt there was enough story. Yes. Then it's good. And everyone likes it. It's good. Then it's good. It's good. That's it. You know, I'm second issue of Phenomenova, and Phenomenova still hasn't showed up. But you know what? The story is, yes, time to shit again. That exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it is. It ultimately, there was one point I remember, and it's like you also trusting the process is big, and overthinking is a part of the process, but you have to sometimes kick it. Sometimes overthinking leads to good stuff, but you have to have that moment where it calms down and you get clarity. But you know, where I was like, oh God, I have to get this person's permission. I have all these people in my network. I have to wait, and I finally was like, Vaughn, stop waiting. Tell the story. And that's what I did. And it's same thing with issue 2.
Because
I was like, oh, issue 2, it's going to take forever. And I'm like, okay, did these comics that came out on a monthly basis, did they sit and wait for months and get feedback on every issue? No, they didn't.
If Jim Lee was writing it.
If Jim, like Chris Claremont had a saying, he was like, if we wrote a bad issue, we had 30 days to make a good one.
Yeah, because the thing is, like when you put it out there, that comes with the realization, like, hey, this might be a bad comic. But you just need to put it out there because also, it's better to have a bad product than no product at all.
I don't know. I look at the amount of investments and
I can see the wheels turning in Vaughn's head right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's you gotta. There's so much to do. You also, I would say, another thing is you want to. Indie comics is another thing, guys. If you're coming in here to make a quick buck, get the hell out of here.
Yeah, you're not making money off of this.
Get out. Even some industry professionals come here, they expect, and it's like, no. If you want to come in here to build something, like Andy Smith gave me some advice. He goes, you're going to lose money for the first 5 years. And part of me went, well, that's not necessarily. Oh, God. I'm doing the costs. Okay. Because you go, oh, that's the artist page rate. And then there's so many hidden costs.
Oh, yeah.
But here's the thing. If I knew everything I had to do and that was plopped in front of me, I'm going to not do it. And also, you're going to have things you have to do. Sometimes you have to just throw stuff aside. Like, I have to do this legal thing. Sometimes it's okay to just throw that aside. I have to make this post. Sometimes it's okay to throw stuff aside. Sometimes it's okay to throw stuff aside and just write. Sometimes it's okay to throw writing aside and just make content. Sometimes you need to throw stuff aside. Like, I keep making to-do lists, and often, you know what I do? I take it and I throw it in the garbage. I'm like, what's on my mind right now? What's important? I have to get better about that. And all these things are lessons I have to keep relearning over and over and over again.
And sometimes you just wipe the whole table clean and be like, you know what? I'm overwhelmed. I'm stressed out. I'm taking the weekend off.
Yeah, that doesn't happen enough, but it should.
Yeah.
And then often when you find those moments, you get that hit of passion. Like you're watching something like that Sonic movie. It kind of led to something where I'm like, oh, I want to make videos on this. This is fun. And that led to, that escapism in the theaters. I was like the whole time in the theater, I was like, Like I was so happy. Like I was like,
I really enjoyed. I've enjoyed all three, to be honest.
Yeah, me too.
But
the
this
third
one is definitely the best.
I have theories for and see now I want to talk about it, and it's like I could write that down, but it's like, all right, it's in my head now.
Okay, give me an example of one of your theories. I need to hear it.
All right, this is my latest one. So my one that I made that I got over 7,000 views on was initially, it was one I saw online, to be fair, but that it's going to be a mix of like, so Sonic CD and Sonic Heroes is initially what I thought, right? But then adding to that, also get some Terminator and Days of Future Past thrown in there.
Oh.
So this is one of my initial theories, that Metal Sonic and Amy were both sent from the future, because I was like, well, Amy, because I saw a theory that Amy is from the future, and I'm like, no, she's not. She's from... And then I started looking into it, and I'm like, well, technically we don't actually... We know that she used tarot cards to find Sonic, but we don't know where she was, so why not? So I was like, well, what if she's from the future and she stops them from killing Sonic when there's a Metal Sonic army in the future and he's getting created in the present? And that was one of the ideas. There's more to it than that. And who are in Days of Future Past, there's like the people fighting in the future, that the resistance that she was sent from, you see glimpses of Silver and Blaze in the future. So they're not part of the main plot. They might even just be in an end credit scene, and they're alluded to, but then they'd be in an end credit scene, and the main plot would revolve around Gun. And either which way, Gun creates Metal Sonic is my theory, because so much they already were distrustful of Sonic and his friends at the beginning of the movie, right? Kristen Ritter's character especially. And now we have she's like, hey, you're aliens, whatever. Well, now kind of like how humans created Sentinels, right? She creates Metal Sonic, partially based off Robotnik's designs. Like they kept harping on the quill, right? That's going to come back. That leads to Metal Sonic's creation.
I have a theory about the quill.
That leads to Metal Sonic's creation, and eventually Metal Sonic comes self-aware, and then in the dark future he takes over. That was one of my theories, but I have a latest one that kind of takes elements of that.
I have two theories. One, I think the commander is Kristen Ritter's father, because they have like this weird interaction when she gives him the key that like I was getting like, okay, this is the father talking to their daughter. They didn't go outright and say it.
Ooh.
But the way they were talking. Also, Gerald should be dead, okay? That incident happened over 50 years ago, and he was already old as shit in the Maria timeline. He was already his granddaughter. The thing is, he was using the Shadow Quill. I think the Quill has been sustaining his life.
Ooh.
Well, for like, the guy is almost like, should be like almost 100 years old. And
he even said in the movie he's 100.
110, he said.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so he's been showing that he's been using the Shadow Quill.
Ooh, so it sustains life.
Yeah, those are my two theories. Because there has to be a reason why he's still this old, you know.
Yeah, I had a theory for a Sonic series, but I guess it could apply a Shadow series, but it could apply to a movie, because I think there's going to be a Shadow story and a Sonic 4. My theory is already changing. My Sonic 4 ideas, I basically overloaded and said, here are all the possible characters that could appear and where they're going to go, but it might be smaller than this. I think there's a list of other characters. It's going to primarily focus on Amy. If Silver shows up, he'll be a smaller character, you know. With potential.
Like, it's pretty much all but confirmed that Robotnik's coming back. Jim Carrey has said he's down for a fourth movie. Like, we know we're getting a fourth movie.
Oh, you think he's going to come back? Because I've been theorizing as if he's dead.
He was supposed to be dead in Sonic 2, but the thing is, he's already stated he's open to coming back for Sonic 4. So if he says that, then he's probably coming back.
Okay.
Because those movies, like, a big part of it is Jim Carrey. The movies love having him. He's loved being in the movie. It's a perfect fit.
Oh yeah. So then if he comes back, then that might change my theories a little bit. Oh wait, then my theories come back. Then oh my god, if ooh.
Oh my god, I just inspired like 5 different videos.
Well, because I thought of it, because I think that he kind of becomes a metal overlord somewhere. If he winds up on another planet.
But
Nick has been silent. She needs to talk now.
Yeah, okay, well, you guys were talking about, like, stuff I didn't know anything about. Now it's Sonic, and I know a lot about Sonic. So, in Sonic Heroes, Metal Sonic poses as Eggman.
Right. Ooh!
Right? So, if Jim Carrey does come back as Eggman, it could very well be Metal Sonic posing as him.
I could totally see Jim Carrey being up for that too. I could totally see him
Plot twist. You can even use that.
Metal Sonic could even be posing as people to get into Gun and taking over, or take it. That could even be a recurring thing he used to the movie. He turns people against each other. And another thing is, another thing. All right, so another
Hey,
theory.
Randy.
So Sonic CD has Little Planet, right? What if Amy did have her thing? She tried to find Sonic through tarot cards because what was the thing about Little Planet? The thing about Little Planet was that it had the time stones. What if to keep time travel simple? This is my latest theory. Sneak peek, I'll make a video on this. In fact, maybe I'll even include Robotnik. What if Metal Sonic takes control of the time stone? Possibly even from Robotnik, I don't know. Or who he gets to Little Planet, like created by Gunn or whoever, becomes self-aware, takes the time stone, and he decides to get power. He goes back in time and creates a bunch of Metal Sonics and does that. And so, but the way I theorize is that the time stone it cannot leave Little Planet. It is exclusively tied to Little Planet. So to become a conqueror, he basically takes over Little Planet at all points in time, builds his army up, and then invades other realms. So what we're seeing at the end of Sonic 3, we're sent back in time to Earth, but the time travel doesn't affect Earth. All that affects Earth is that they come through. So Metal Sonic is being created, and I'm thinking Sonic and Amy, they rushed to stop them being created at Gun, but it's too late. And now they have to travel back and forth in time on Little Planet, is where most of the movie takes place, to destroy him.
Is the finale going to happen on Little Big Planet?
No.
Are we going to see Sackboy?
No.
Please tell me you got the joke, Bob.
I did. But so that's what I think is one possibility. And if that's the case, who are Amy's friends that she's trying to get she needs Sonic's help to save her planet from, this guy came from your world and looks like you. I need your help. You're heroes in your world. You've defeated Robotnik.
Question for you.
And hold on. I'm cooking. And who was taken over by Metal Sonic? Oh my God, my good friend Cream the Rabbit is being held captive. She's a little child.
No.
What's that thing she holds? A chow? I wonder if we'll get a hint from that on the
and then off in the distance you see
Big the cat in the background. I genuinely think if Big the cat shows up, I think there's a likelihood, because you don't even have to actually do anything with him. You can literally just have him in the background, and people will lose their minds. You don't like no one.
Adventure 2 reference.
No,
Sonic Adventure. I guess 2 because he's in the background, right?
Yeah.
Question for you. What's that one robot that was evil, but Amy made him good in the Adventure series?
Gamma,
E102 Gamma.
We did see the models of that robot in Sonic Adventure 3 for the Eclipse Cannon. When we saw that exact model of robot. So, let him cook. Cream, hold up. Stop his cooking.
Cream is an adorable character, and I love her.
Who?
The rabbit.
Yeah, I mean, I just think she's like an easy choice because Cream.
She's an innocent little child.
Well, because I think she would be used as a plot. Like, if we want to have the simple characters to focus on, you could put Big and like have Team Rose put Big, and because they don't have to have that much plot relevance. Because if you put Silver. You could put him in the future and have him just be cool for a couple scenes.
Okay,
that works. Either way, they're not going to put. Initially I was thinking maybe they'll put Rouge and whatever. I no longer think that.
Why won't they put Rouge? Come on,
because it made
very big reasons why they.
No, because they're going to save her for the Shadow movie or show. They're not going to have her debut in Amy's movie and show her up.
That, and they'd severely change her design because. In modern day, big boobed Batgirl bad.
Yeah, exactly. Also in modern day, you can't have
green
fucking people like Screen Rant and all of them. I'm pissed off because every time I keep going, maybe things are turning out for the better. And then I see like everyone is like, well, Amy should be changed for current year. I'm like, stop.
Oh, her obsession with Sonic makes her a bad character.
And they're going to cave because
she's
all
a young girl in love.
Yeah, and all the media keeps doing it. They keep so I think they're going to cave, and that's my fear, is they're going to cave because they already have her. My fear is that Metal Sonic gets beaten too easily. There with an army of them in the post credits, but I was so excited to see them kind of like cool. But I think it's leading to something cool. My hope is that there's an actual fight with that version of Metal Sonic, that version is not just a drone. Because I know we'll see a better version, but I want there to be a version that looks like that's actually puts up a fight.
Okay, question. Arnold Schwarzenegger voices Metal Sonic.
No. I don't want it.
Okay, who do you think should voice Metal Sonic then?
See, Metal Sonic, I guess he does talk. Personally, I think it should be something mechanical sounding. I don't think he needs to have.
I think they should just have Sonic's actor voice him, but like put over a metal filter. Because, like, I don't know, Metal Sonic's whole thing in the games and comics was that he doesn't know that he's a copy of Sonic. He genuinely believes
Oh, really?
he is Sonic.
What in the Mega Man Zero are you talking about?
Really?
That's
Yeah.
the Mega Man Zero plot right there. Oh no. Sorry. If you ever played Mega Man Zero,
Sonic's the copy, and he's the real Sonic.
He could also be absorbing from other characters, like in Sonic Heroes, and there's that final form.
Yeah,
But,
Field Metal Sonic.
does Amy have a voice actor?
I think the final boss of this series, because they said 6-movie plan, I think it's going to be Chaos, actually.
Yeah.
Their
I can see
Thanos
that.
threat. I think because Chaos, they've had the Chaos Emeralds in the game, they've had the Echidnas from the beginning. I think their endgame threat is going to take them back to the beginning. So I think that's going to be their final threat, and I think we're building up characters in the meantime. I think Sonic 4 has a lot of potential characters. I no longer think Rouge the Bat. I initially thought, but it's like, okay, the only reason I was thinking Rouge is because she's the next biggest character that they haven't done, I would think.
She's the last big character they have, to be honest. Because, to be honest, the Sonic fandom is split in two, and it's like in the classic Sonic fans and the Sonic Adventure 2. And then you have a whole new fans coming up during the GameCube era.
Yeah, that's what I came up. But I also understand that those earlier characters, most of them are better. Because a lot of the new characters haven't caught on the way the older ones did. I would say the last characters to really catch on were like Cream. Oh, not Cream. Were
Blaze, I think, is
Blaze and Silver, I would say.
One of the things I've noticed, though, too, is that the fandom split another two ways. People who like Sonic having a lot of friends and people who think Sonic should be a loner.
Okay.
And I think, honestly, the idea of Sonic being a loner is just asinine. He gets along with people.
Mm-hmm.
He's had Tails as a friend since Game 2.
Yeah, he's had, in Sonic CD, he had Amy. In Sonic 2 and 3, he had Tails by his side.
Yeah, Knuckles became his friend kind of later on. Like a friendly rivalry, but they kind of ducked out of the rivalry now because Shadow's his
right. Yeah, and I mean, to be fair, I was introduced to Sonic Heroes as my introduction, so I always saw it as an ensemble cast.
Yeah.
All right. So who do I think is now? Who do I think the Chaotix maybe? But I think so the characters that are most likely by the end of this 6 series. We're going to have the most obvious ones they've had. I'm surprised they put Shadow before Amy, but if you look at the top,
I'm surprised we got
the top
Shadow
6
before Metal Sonic. I thought Metal
me
Sonic
too.
was
Me too. Me too. Before Metal Sonic, but now it feels like they're going back to giving those two their spotlight, and that's why I think if there are other characters, they'll have smaller roles. So I think we're going to see. So we saw the most obvious Sonic characters, the most popular ones. You look at any list, the top 6, while the order may change, are Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, Eggman, or I guess top 7. Eggman, Metal Sonic, Shadow. Those are the top, always going to be the tops, right? Then the next one, I would say the next most obvious one would be Rouge.
Yeah, and Rouge oftentimes does actually sneak her way into that top 6.
Yeah, exactly. So I would say Rouge would be the next obvious one. And then who do you think would be, if you were to do top 10, who do you think would be the next 2? Because I feel like Omega only because he completes Team
Biggs the cat.
No.
They'd have him in as like a little reference if they.
Yeah, they would.
He's a meme character. He's like
if you want to do meme character, if you want to do side characters, Big and Cream. But if we're talking the heavy hitters, because these are all heavy hitters.
The most you'll do with Biggs the cat is you'll have Sonic running. He runs past Biggs. He looks and says, "Froggy," and then goes back to fishing. And that is the most.
That is the most you'll get. Yeah.
And to be fair,
Have him
everyone
show
will
up in
freak out.
random places like he did in Sonic Adventure 2. Oh my god, he's just sitting there randomly fishing in these weird spots.
He's
Come
just
on.
fishing there innocently.
Now we got okay. So yeah, I think we're gonna save. So then I would say Silver and Blaze maybe. What do you think? Or Silver and Blaze more popular than the Chaotix?
What about the princess?
I'm gonna say
for
Silver
Sonic
in the next.
06?
That's
The princess
Blaze. Oh, Elise, fuck off. Chris Thorndike from Sonic X.
No. What they do is it's
That got a
revealed
reaction.
that is that she's the reincarnation of Maria to make it extra cringe.
Reincarnation, Jesus. So I think the next big villain that they'd have to do would be Chaos, honestly. If we're getting ensemble cast, that's why I do think initially I was like, oh, there are so many characters that could appear in 4. And I think it's possible, but I think they're going to kind of build up the cast a little bit. And then we're going to see I think we'll see bits of Silver and Blaze.
John's like, no.
Chris Thorndike, the best character.
I will literally find you and gut you in your sleep.
What do you mean? You don't like? He's so useful to this. He contributes so much to the plot. He's really relatable because you're not allowed to relate to Sonic characters. You literally have to.
Actually,
they are
no.
telling you that is this. He's a representative of humanity.
Oh yeah,
I know who the
totally
final
relate
boss
to a
is
rich
gonna
kid
be.
who has parental issues because they don't spend enough time with him.
No,
because they don't want parents in the show.
I have a source.
Vanilla the rabbit.
They told
That
me
could
who
be
the
fun.
final boss of the movies are going to be. Ken Penders.
That'd be epic.
Dun dun dun! Plot twist.
Top 10 Sonic characters. Let's see what comes up. All right, top 12. Why would you do 12, IGN?
I'm just really surprised they did a
CBRs.
Sonic TV.
Number 15, Cream the Rabbit. Number 14, Chaos. Number 13, Espio the Chameleon. 12, Sage.
Thank you, John.
11, Metal Sonic. That's Cap. Silver, 10. Okay, that's Blaze. Okay. E123 Omega. All right, so yeah, I think Rouge. So then when we get to 7, these are the obvious ones: Rouge, Eggman, Amy, Tails, Knuckles, Shadow, Sonic. Those are the obvious ones. So that's what I think. I think they're going to keep going safe. So they're going to do Amy and Metal Sonic next, and then maybe they'll cameo some others. But I don't see Cream the Rabbit being some major character like in Sonic X. So she's like, why was she in the show more than Knuckles, dude? I guess because you don't have to try with her. She could just, I'm cute. That's it. That's all she does.
Watch.
The
Just
Japanese
watch.
love cute bunny girls.
Just watch.
Yeah.
They figure out the rights and they actually get Sally Acorn in the movie.
But they don't want to. I don't even think it's about the rights. Is it a rights issue? I thought they just don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about. No one cares. Like, okay, I don't want to say no one cares, but like, they're not going to use Sally Acorn, dude.
No one under 30 even
That's what I
knows
mean.
who Sally Acorn is.
She's gone, dude. Sorry.
No one under 30 even knows she exists.
Dude, like Sally Acorn.
She exists.
I know she exists because people who are over 30 won't stop talking about her.
No,
She was the real original love. Even though she like came out like 3 days before Sonic CD, so she really isn't even like, or was it before or after? It doesn't even matter. Like,
And you got to realize, Sonic Saturday AM, that was the show that was aired at 6 a.m. every weekday morning. Like, that was not even the main one. The main cartoon people saw was the Sonic the Animated Series. But the Jamal
yeah, so
White
she's
one,
from the second show.
that nobody actually watched.
And there was already a character.
Well, actually, Sally existed in
Okay.
the Sonic cartoon too, because they had a movie with her original.
Has she ever been
I have to
canon to
read
the
this.
games at any point?
I have to read this. If Sally gets in the movies, I will nut all the way to the moon. And John, if you're there, say hi to Mega Man from Mega Man Legends for me, please. Nobody got that reference.
Dude, I love
okay.
Sally. It's at
All right.
7:30, dude. Even the network didn't care about Sally Acorn. Like, come on. All right, maybe she was relevant at some point in history, but
I mean,
The comics are such a big clusterfuck because like a big portion of it is just like Ken Pender's
in his weird
property
fan
now.
fiction era.
Yeah, like a big portion of
right.
the comics are just.
But like, I don't know, I kind of like their dynamic in the show and in the comics because she was someone who could keep Sonic on his toes for once instead of the other way around.
all right. So wait, we all agree on the
She
top
never
8.
put up with his bullshit.
So we all agree on the top 8. So who are the last 2? Because the thing is, I want Omega. I love Omega. So we have our elite 8. Now we have
What about the alligator? The alligator guy.
Vector, but I feel like you can't have 2 of the chaotics. That's why I've left.
Yeah, get Charmy in there too.
Even though he's the worst one.
What about the
Oh
the
dear.
bee?
No, yeah, you're right. He's so
Or
freaking.
Army
That doesn't mean he's
Armadillo?
bad character, but no, we're not putting fucking Mighty in the top 10. Ridiculous.
Mighty! I want Mighty! Justice for Mighty!
Yeah, I'm not saying he's a bad character, but he's not better than Silver, Blaze, or Eat 1, 2, 3 Omega. So he can't be in the top 10. So
Hell, Dan was a
I'm going to
better
put
character.
Silver and Blaze to round out the top 10, but I do want
Okay.
E1, 2, 3 Omega more than those 2 because we want to round out Team Dark. And I think he's an easier one. He's a robot there. In fact, he could even appear in Sonic 4 as a robot that's made to fight Metal Sonic. Boom.
I mean, basically, they gave they gave oh god now you're making me forget the Hammer Girl.
Amy Rose, come on, you.
Sorry,
Amy!
brain fart.
Oh my god!
They
Justice
basically
for Amy!
oh screw off, Nix.
Dude, I want all right, John A. Douglas. Here's what I want. Sonic AM, they're a freedom force, right? In the future or something. What if? All right, here's what I want. I want Sally Acorn, Amy. I want the Sally Acorn fans. I don't even have anything against Sally Acorn, but I think it would be fucking funny if it's like Amy's like, I was in the future. There was a resistance. What happened? They were wiped out. Sally Acorn get obliterated.
You know what I want? I want Sonic Underground. I want
Sonic Underground. Dude,
I want to see Sonic fight a tyranny against the government by playing in a band.
Oh my god, that used to be one of my favorite shows as a kid. My brother even helped my grandfather pick out for Christmas a DVD set, and I was like ecstatic. I hadn't seen it in years, and I thought it was like a weird fever dream.
Are they going to put any of
Honestly,
those-
I got problems with that show now that I'm not sure how I process it. Like
What?
the seer who tells them about like Eggman's coming, he's gonna kill them all, blah blah blah, and I'm like, and then he goes to Eggman immediately. Is like, yo, this is gonna happen. They're gonna overthrow you.
Wait.
They're gonna fuck your shit up, and I'm like, dude, whose side are you on?
Sonic? See, why does no one talk about Sleet or Sonia or
The well of Sonic
Manic's the
characters
green
is
one.
so vast.
Who are the other?
Manic
fucking
was the
characters?
best one because he was like he was a thief. He was cool.
Who?
He could pickpocket. Sonic's brother
We had a brother?
and a sister. Yeah, they were triplets.
Oh.
Their
Like I
instruments
said, I
doubled
was
as
obsessed with
weapons.
the show.
Yeah, well, that show is it's gone, guys. But I think
bad.
all right, so I think for Sonic 4, again, it's gonna be Amy, and then we're gonna see some future and past characters, maybe in cameos. But I don't think we're gonna see anyone like Rouge the Bat or maybe Silver and Blaze, but they'd be like reserved for the end.
Rouge would be a mid-credits reveal, if anything.
Rouge, I think they're saving for Shadow. The Shadow movie or show. I put series, but it could be movie.
I do think Shadow will get a series because the Knuckles series, it was okay, but I think it did pretty well. So
I think it's
and,
going to be also my theory was that the Project Shadow is going to be touch on the Shadow part of the Sonic universe. So it's going to be the formation. I think it's going to be him and Stone investigating Project Shadow to get revenge for the Robotniks and to find out what happened. Well, maybe not revenge, but to get answers about Shadow's past. And along the way, they'll find Rouge. Along the way, they'll find Omega who's going after God. And then possibly Black Doom, possibly a reinterpretation of Ethel, as I was thinking, where he is a failed Shadow.
But when is Tonic turning into a werehog?
It's not. That'll be movie like 8 or something.
I'm sorry.
Once we've gone through all the characters we want to see more.
All right,
Yeah.
Chris, you've been pretty silent. What do you want to have to say
Come
about all
on,
this?
come on, Chris. I don't know, Sonic. Right? Is that what you're gonna say? Is he even here? He left.
Are you here? Did you check out on us? Did you fall asleep?
Sonic Underground.
I didn't want to interrupt your conversation.
Well, you're not.
Okay,
you're not
Chris. No, you're welcome into it. What do you think about? What do you want to add about all the Sonic stuff?
Like every marketing property, they'll bleed it out and eventually it'll fail. But in the meantime, enjoy the ride. There you go.
Okay, a bit dark, but you know.
Sorry, I yeah.
Hey, it is what it is. That's who you are, my friend, and I'm happy to have you. So dark and gritty. You think you're from the DC universe?
That line's not gonna age well.
Yeah, I can see Sonic Underground too on the Seven Seas. Hello.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
no.
Nick's knows to hit up a certain bay.
What?
Yo ho, da.
Pirate Bay. Okay, gotcha.
We're
Sonic. All right. Anyway, back to.
Oh, I gotta say that was actually my favorite reference in the first movie when the guy held up the Sonic.
Sonic. Oh, that was so good. That's why we
That
need
was like,
another
okay,
moment like that. We need Big the Cat. Big the Cat. Big the Cat.
That
Bring
was the
me
moment
him.
that sold me the movie because if they're
Bring
gonna
me
do
the
that,
cat.
Froggy.
Also, did you notice that Knuckles said he knew the way in Sonic 3?
It was actually Robotnik that said it.
What? Oh, I forgot about that. But it was to Knuckles, right?
Yeah, and they said it a little bit differently, but yeah, it was very. I think it was pretty clear they
do
were.
you think? Yeah, that's what I thought. Because at first I went through and I was like, "Is that what they were going for?" And then it was like other people picked up on it. I'm like, "I think so." What are some
How
other
many
Sonic memes?
I wonder
that
how
you
many
wanna see?
people have asked Idris Elba to say, "I know the way." I wonder how many people have asked him to say that.
Now, wouldn't it be funny if like? All right, so what would be some memes you want in? Like, I was just looking to the Sonic theme song because I was like, oh, this could be a funny possible intro, and then I was like, oh, actually, no, it can't because I don't want to blow my people's eardrums out. But like, can you imagine if like they had that?
What I want is Sonic. You even have fan fiction, and then like you see Sonic looking at the fan fiction, and like you don't even show it. You just see his reaction.
Yeah, like in the first
Sonic,
trailer.
people have been making fan art about you, and it's like.
What are some other references we could have? Sonic Underground.
I want more of the music.
Do you think they're gonna make Amy full-blown girl boss? Because I hate to say it, I think it's a possibility.
Possibly.
Because they're like,
it's an inevitability.
I hate
I
that.
will fight tooth and nail for her honor. I swear to God, Amy's at her best when she's the sweet, nice, happy one.
Look what
Like,
they
yeah,
did to
she
Princess
has her
Peach.
good things.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Princess Peach.
and that was after Nintendo.
And then what bothered me is everyone was talking about it was like some super anti-woke movie. I'm like, what do you mean? They made Peach like they
backseated Luigi in his own goddamn movie. It's
yeah,
literally
Mario
Mario
Brothers.
The only reason people call it anti-woke is because Nintendo actually it could have been worse. Like,
Yeah,
But that's
That's
really
like wiping a turd off the rim of your glass and saying, well, at least somebody didn't fill it full of shit.
But like, okay, so I'm of two minds of the Luigi thing because it's clear to me that they made Luigi the damsel in distress because of Mario and Luigi's bond. Mario doesn't know Peach yet, so it kind of doesn't make sense to make her the like end all. Like,
yeah, I get it, but I also think.
but also it's kind of shitty, yeah, because like I love Luigi,
Well,
he's my boy.
We didn't even need Mario. I mean, if you watch the movie and take Mario out of it, Peach could have saved herself.
Yeah.
Like, it's ridiculous.
I talked about it on Twitter and people were like, "Oh no, yeah, it makes sense though. She's been living there, blah blah." I'm like, no,
No, it doesn't.
that trading scene should have showed her like actually failing.
Yeah, she got it on her first try, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah, just ask her.
That bothered me. It's like
they make it a joke.
It was one
though.
line. It was one line where they said, "Yeah, I made it on my first try." They would have said, "Yeah, it took me 6 months to learn how to do that course." And then, okay, that would have saved the scene.
Well, they can't give a W to a man over a woman because it's feminist garbage.
Yeah, that's another thing is like, okay, because I'm trying to keep my excitement, but there's this thought in the back of my head, and I have a feeling that I'm gonna have the rug pulled out from under me because I'm ignoring some signs. But like Amy,
The first
through the
season,
thing,
the first
right?
movie is
He
always
smashes
good.
all the metal
The sequel.
Sonics, and she's like this. Now my hope is that immediately she goes, "Oh my God, Sonic, you're okay!" Like that's what I want. That she's capable, like in the show, and Sonic X, she was capable,
and in the
but
game,
she would
capable.
also fangirl out. I want to show the full, like, so we think it's gonna be that, and then the subversion is she goes, "Oh my God, Sonic, I'm so glad you're okay, Sonic." You know, that's what I hope.
I mean,
I am
let's be honest. In the games, she was shacking up with Bowser.
Peach?
No way.
Yeah, Mario is a cuck, dude.
No. Shush. Anyways, as a certified, as a massive fan of both Peach and Amy, I just want to say Amy's always been capable.
Yes.
But she has more to her than just the capable girl with a hammer. She's a sweetheart, an absolute dear to like almost everyone she meets.
Yes.
She has a temper, sure. She can be kind of a bitch when people push her over the edge, but other than that,
She's not a one-dimensional like what they're saying in the games. Like, we love Amy, but also change Amy's characters. That's what I hear these YouTubers saying. Like, we love Amy, but also can you remove all of her defining traits?
Those are non-fans.
Amy.
Those are
it's
not
kind
actually
of funny
fans.
that
Those
people
are
are
grifters.
so upset that Amy has a crush on Sonic, and they go on about how obsessive she is. When it, at least in Adventure and Adventure 2, never really came off of as obsessive to me, especially if you use the original Japanese dialogue, because it's that scene where she tells him to marry her, so she's like helping him escape from the prison island base.
She's also a
It's-
child.
It's pretty clear that she's joking about it. Like, it's a teasing sort of, if I let you go, will you marry me kind of thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, kind of like in It's a Wonderful Life, how it's like, aha, you have to do something for me to give you your clothes back. He's not going to do that, right? But it's like, you know, it's a little bit of a joke. And I was watching that movie going, oh God, are people trying to cancel this movie now because of that scene where they're like, there's a clear banter?
They tried to cancel Baby It's
They-
Cold Outside.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
they
did
tried
cancel
that. They tried that for a couple of years, and they realized they weren't getting anywhere.
No, they did. They removed it on the radio. I thought they were successful.
No, I've still been hearing people sing it. I heard it on the radio. It's on my Spotify too. The Michael Bublé and Idina Menzel is my favorite take on it though, because it's very charming and flirty kind of vibes.
Like, and the thing is, there's room to, if we're talking with this, there's room to be subversive and have it work. Like, one version that I like is the Lady Gaga, and the guy from Robin from Dark Knight, whatever his name is. They actually reverse the gender to where Lady Gaga is kind of the pursuer, and that one, and it's like, okay, you flip the genders, hey, it works, you know, whatever.
What is this?
Oh, I was talking about like a version of Baby It's Cold Outside where they flip the genders. And it's like, okay, that's one version among many. It's cute. Who cares?
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, I hope that they don't do that, but it seems that they're going to, because every major outlet is doing that kind of shit.
As much as I hate to say it, I'm kind of with Chris on here. Yeah, they're probably going to make her a girl boss, or at least there's going to be an effort to do it. It depends on how much Sega tells them to shut the fuck up.
No, it's an inevitability.
I hate to say it. I think he's right. I want him to be wrong, and I think he's right.
I don't want to be right.
In the games too.
Well, dude, like,
Damn you,
it's,
Sega.
our culture has been hijacked by ideologues. Like,
Especially
all of
Disney
our
by
shit-
Sega.
Yeah, all of our shit is now propaganda to demoralize us. Like, we basically have this like feminist girl boss crap that women don't like because they don't want to be like counterfeit men, and men don't like because they don't like getting shit on by, like, you know, browbeating women. So
And
nobody's
women,
liking
and
it.
then, and the thing is, here's the thing. Here's what they don't understand. Men like badass women.
Yeah.
Women like badass women.
But they don't
Why
have
is
to be stripped of their femininity.
Exactly.
Like
and they don't
Bayonetta.
have to
Look at
shit on
Bayonetta.
men. Yeah.
Look at Bayonetta.
Amy, I want Amy. She could smash it with a hammer, but she still loves Sonic and still loves girly girl stuff. But the thing is, so far she has the hood. She doesn't have the headband and stuff, which is why part of me is going, uh-oh. But maybe she's a survivor. Maybe
She'll get them in the movie.
Yeah, that's what my hope is. That this is my hope is that she's still, by the end, she's like, oh my God, I love you, Sonic. But she's like, I have been a survivor, so I've had to wear a hood. I've had to do this. But deep down, yes, I am a bit of a tomboy, but deep down, I want to. She by the end, she's like, now that she's in a happier future, she puts on the headband. Maybe at the end of the movie and the dress, and then we see the Amy we know.
Shopping montage.
Yeah, it could be a shopping montage.
Get her
Oh,
baking too.
or-
She's a great baker.
Oh,
Or she's
okay.
on
I
Earth.
got-
She goes, I
I got-
baked a cake for us now that we have her victory. And you see her maybe she has her tough moments when she's with the boys, and then as soon as she's with Cream. That's why I actually think, again, I
Oh,
might
theory. I
revise
have
my
a theory.
theory.
I have a theory for Sonic 4. So what it is Amy comes from like a Terminator future. She's never had a chance to be a girl. So what it is the mom, Jason Marsden's wife, because Maddie takes Amy under the wing, and then they
Yeah.
have the shopping spree.
They bond. She's like,
teaches her
finally a girl around here. That kind of thing.
Yeah, like the whole thing is like, oh, it's at the boys' club. I wish we had a girl here. You know, that's the daughter, like the daughter he always wanted.
Yes.
Dude,
All right.
my-
See, now I'm excited again.
My prediction is when Sonic and Amy meet, Amy is going to kick the shit out of Sonic.
No, well,
No,
that's not that didn't happen in the end credit scene though.
Okay.
She kicked the shit out of Metal Sonic.
No, and then
With her
they're
big ass hammer.
there will be some interaction where she expresses her superiority over him, guaranteed.
I don't know, but
I planted the seed. You'll see it. You'll see it.
and Chris, if you are right, you have every. You can come on here and lord it over.
I don't want to be right though. Like,
yeah,
that's
none
the
of us
thing is-
want this, Chris. We all want Chris to be wrong, but no one can say
Chris
definitively
wants
you're
Chris to be
wrong.
wrong.
If it was 10 or 20 years ago, we'd all go, Chris. They wouldn't do that.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they want to make money.
You know.
Yep. Peter Venkman's
Exactly.
correct. So, before you go, I want to do this topic. Have you heard that Disney is thinking about buying Sega? They are so pissed off that
I hope
Sonic
not.
beat Mufasa. They're like, all right, let's just buy him.
This
Oh
is
my
some
God.
petty, pathetic
No,
level
that's-
shit.
Well,
That's-
guys, if
that's
you want to
cancer.
back someone who's not going to cave to all this stuff, then make sure you back me. Go to RebelOasisStudios.com. It's called Rebel Oasis for a reason. If you want to, and it's not necessarily a political statement, contrary to what Meta thinks of anything, but it's more so if you want to just relax, you could rebel, but just do it while relaxing and enjoying entertainment. I'm not asking you to take up arms. That's Rebel Oasis, a place where you can kind of get away from all that. So if that's interesting to you, back Phenomenova issue 2 tonight
Buy
in
his
less
book.
than 30 minutes. So yeah, hope you guys are excited. I know I am.
All right.
Yeah, man.
And,
And if your preferred platform, like you like Kickstarter, right? I don't know which platform are you going to back on if you do. If you don't worry about it. But it's also I should mention there's a digital tier with this book.
Kickstarter or Indiegogo. I'm either or, really.
Okay, well, because you could sign up for either of those. Also, follow me on Global Comics, guys. You can read the first 10 pages
I
of
love
issue
that
1 for
site.
free. So Global Comics, you could access it through my website, or you could just look up Phenomenova on Global Comics. Follow me on there if you haven't already. And yeah, if you have a subscription, you could read it.
Yeah. So thank you, Vaughn, for coming on. You're
All right.
welcome over here
Yeah, man.
anytime if you want to come
All
over here
right.
and talk Sonic theories. Seriously, I love having you on.
Thank you.
And
Means
good
a
luck
lot.
with your
I love
Sonic
hanging out with you.
Series with you. Oh
Our
my!
next, let's schedule a stream sometime.
Yeah.
I had a
Yes.
stream. Our next, DM me. You guys are welcome to come on my channel too if you want.
Dude, next
tonight.
Sonic theory stream, I want to be there.
All right, cool. I did one actually. It was supposed to be a spoiler discussion on Sonic 3, and we're all so excited that it became 2 hours. My friend, who I didn't even know was a huge Sonic fan, because we've been only talking comics. That's one of the things. These things intersect more than people think.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's like I can talk about whatever I want, and then someone followed me through my Sonic content with a Batman profile picture on YouTube, and they go, "Hey, I like it." Oh, I'm like, "Oh, you also like Batman? Yeah, cool. I'm making a comic. Let me check it out." I've already made connections.
I've had that happen so many times because, like, I built my Twitter through memes, and I've had people say, like, "Oh, wait, you make comics? Cool. Let me go check them out." I've had that happen.
I'm doing that, and yeah, I think I'm gonna keep. That's why part of me wants to keep doing this. It's the #1 movie in the world. Everyone's seeing it.
All right, yeah. I'm sure me and Nick will get in touch with you about that. But
yes,
in the meantime, go make a successful campaign, brother. You got this.
Thank you
Yep.
so much. Thank you. See you guys. Peace.
Have a good one, man.
All right, so let's continue the discussion of Disney and Sega. Because, God
Boo
dang.
Disney. Boo.
Yeah,
It's like the Borg. They'll assimilate it, and then they'll like I had said earlier when you guys asked me what I thought of the Sonic franchise.
the thing
They'll
is,
absorb it and turn it to shit.
Disney has Disney definitely has said they want to get into video games. That's why they invested $1 million into like Epic and Fortnite. But I can see them wanting to buy Sega because it buys them an iconic video game character. But the problem is, like, you think Sega is not doing anything with their IPs currently? If Disney buys it, you will never see another Shining Force game.
Well, Sega is dead as a software and hardware developer. I mean, they have a very
Hardware
small
for sure.
division. Well, they have a very small, they've got like, God, what is it, Yakuza and a few other properties, but they're licensing those out to third parties. They're not actually in-house development.
Well, pretty much all they got is Persona because they own Atlas, Sonic, and Yakuza. That's it.
And yeah, and well, dude, after what they did in Akihabara earlier, what was it in 2022 there, where they shut down they had a 3-story arcade in Japan. That was like a monument. Yeah, it was. It was a big freaking landmark, and it's gone. And if that isn't a sign of Sega's fall, nothing is. Like, Sonic is clearly the only thing that they have going for them, and it's not even theirs. It's now a movie division doing it. It's Paramount.
And it's like okay. And the thing is, all their best games, like Sonic Mania, did a lot for the video game franchise, but that wasn't even them. That was a fan project they greenlit. Because
that was Paul Whitehead.
Yeah. And like, okay, and you had Sega, like the Sonic Superstars, Sonic Origins. Those had their problems, but like, as much as those had problems, we've had a lot worse. Like, remember Sonic Forces?
Dude, I don't know. Well, that's the thing, is Sonic Forces was the follow-up after Sonic Mania, which was, again, a third party, a fan made that, okay? Mm-hmm. So this was a return to, well, okay, see what we can do. And they made shit. Sonic Forces was garbage, dude. Like that, it was a huge step backwards. And then they made, hey, let's do Sonic. Oh god, what's the one that they recently did where they threw shadows into it?
Sonic Generations and Shadow. Yeah. They basically did a Bowser's Fury kind of thing.
Yeah, and they censored the shit out of it. It's like all you had to do was just throw in the shadow gameplay elements.
Hey, Johnny Ortiz, like, okay, it's cool. They had a DLC that literally had Keanu Reeves voicing Shadow. Like, how do you mess this up?
Yeah, exactly. And
they found a way.
Well, this shows they have no confidence in making games. And honestly, like, if Nintendo buys this, if Disney buys this, they're done, because Disney has no confidence in making.
Do you want Disney owning Persona?
Well, no. They have no confidence in making movies, and Sega doesn't have any confidence making games. So now you have two incompetent companies that have awesome properties that we're all going to just see brutally vandalized.
And the only company that's actually working is Atlas, and that's because Sega literally
acquired them.
What?
Didn't they acquire Atlas? Like, that was.
They acquired Atlas, and then they had they used like the one half the brain cell they had left. Be like, okay, Atlas is doing good. Let's just leave them alone. Let them do their thing. Like, they had one half of a brain cell that fired on their exact right. Will be like, let's just leave them alone, and that's how Atlas is still successful.
How's this one? So in the arcades back in 1987, 88, or whatever, they ruled. Like, if you went into an arcade, every game that was like super popular at the time.
Yu Suzuki. Thank you, Yu.
Yeah. I think Technos was also one of the ones, but basically Sega had Altered Beast, Shinobi, Golden Axe. They even had Strider, which was Capcom.
If it was the early 80s, Atari was still ruling the roost. I mean, Atari still put out some good arcade games in the late 80s, but by the mid 80s they were gone.
So they had these insane properties, okay? Shinobi, okay? That was Sega's answer to anything Ninja. Well,
it was their answer to Ninja Gaiden.
Well, they screwed it up. It's done. Like, they forgot what made the series great, because it was basically a ripoff of Namco's Rolling Thunder, and they forgot. Like, they made awesome Genesis games, and then they made a couple of 3D-ish games that were like half-hearted ripoffs of Ninja Gaiden Black.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And here's the thing: is Ninja Gaiden Black came out afterwards, but there were 3D like basically what Ninja Gaiden Black kind of improved upon was the same kind of well of,
Oh.
of 3D Ninja games. That
Oh
Sega-
God! In the '90s, we had the holy trinity of ninja: Strider, Ninja Gaiden, and then Shinobi.
Yeah, Tecmo, Sega, and Capcom. But what sucks though is Golden Axe. That was your golden boy, dude. You could have done anything with that. Every game that has come out after the Revenge of Death Adder has been garbage. They did this like stupid Beast Rider thing, and it's like, did you forget what Golden Axe was?
And the worst thing is, belt scrollers are back.
Yeah.
If you want to do another Golden Axe, this is a perfect opportunity to do so.
And it's weird because the aesthetics just kept getting worse from the original game. You went from an original game and it had a very clean, very soft, like Conan the Barbarian kind of aesthetic. And then they started throwing like the Genesis versions, you can clearly see they just recycled sprites and made shit like a little harsher and darker and stuff.
Okay, I'm gonna pitch you something.
Mhm.
So they do a new Golden Axe. The art style is literally Frank Frazetta.
Yeah, that's what it should be. You know what they should do? They should hire those people that make the what's that warped pervy Queen's Crown or whatever, Dragon's Crown. The painterly one.
Vanillaware.
Yeah, Vanillaware. Like, you want to get a successful property with oh my God, people need to talk about these aesthetics. Get something like that. I'm not saying get it that like.
Hell, get the Streets of Rage 4 people or the Shredder's Revenge people to do
Yeah. .emu. Get those guys to make a Golden Axe sequel, and I guarantee you, like, they'll be able to handle that property better than Secret Level and whatever the hell else they like contracted out in their previous games.
Yeah. .emu would do great.
Hell yeah.
Or
they're a French company, I think.
Yeah. Gosh. Like, I'm kind of concerned. Like, they said they're doing Crazy Taxi, but they're going to make it, like, open world multiplayer. Like, that's not Crazy Taxi.
Yeah. Not only that, but The Offspring was Crazy Taxi.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the other thing. Crazy Taxi lives or dies by its soundtrack.
Yeah. Good luck with that. We don't have good music anymore. What are you going to put Ice Spice in there? Oh! Like, you know, you're driving. Like, it's just trash.
No. You're going to have Blinding Lights. By The Weekend. Your opening track.
Oh my God. Crazy Taxi, yeah, like you said, like it survives on its soundtrack, but like part of that was it was a zeitgeist of the early 2000s. It was The Offspring, and it was a fun romp. Like, you ran over people, you did whatever, and it was just part of the game, you know?
Yeah.
And now they're gonna like, oh well, now we gotta have like, you know, the aesthetics are probably gonna be realistic or something instead of stylized.
I mean, honestly, given our technology, I would actually be really interested in what they do with Panzer Dragoon. Like, can you imagine a Panzer Dragoon game with like a really great art style in today's modern technology?
Have you played Panzer Dragoon Remake?
I think I own it on the Switch. I played it like once.
Yeah, I mean, the aesthetics are nice, but yeah, Panzer Dragoon had a very early CG or CGI style, and I don't know. It's weird because it felt very. I don't want to say European, but it had that like medieval, but not quite medieval, desert dweller, not quite like Arabic. Like, I don't know. It had a cool, interesting, unique style. But
see, one game that will never get remade is or even ported is Panzer Dragoon Saga.
Yeah, the whole role playing thing. Yeah. Man.
Well, it's because the code base is lost. We know the code base is lost. So literally the only way we could do it is emulation. There's not enough really momentum there to remake it. Like, maybe you could have like plop it onto a store and emulate it, but that's literally the only way we're getting it.
Yeah. That's a shame. Yeah.
I mean, I know that if they had done a Sega Saturn Mini, they would have put that on there.
Dude, when Sega announced that they weren't going to make a Dreamcast Mini, I was like, okay, you just left money on the table. You guys are dumb. You clearly...
Like, I can understand not making a Sega Saturn Mini. Also,
yes.
Hey, Johnny Ortiz. Sorry I didn't say before. It's just I other people were talking. I didn't have an opportunity. But like, I can understand not making a Sega Saturn Mini because nobody cares. But a Dreamcast has a lot of fans, and that could make some money.
Yeah, and unfortunately, clearly Sega, like, they're allergic to success. Like, every decision they've made in the last like decade again, other than like giving Paramount their movie license or whatever, has been disastrous. Like nothing has been like a huge takeaway. We partnered with Games Workshop. Okay, how's that doing for you?
To be fair, they're still not as dumb as Konami, where you had the cast like they had the Castlevania game, the Castlevania Netflix series at the height of its popularity.
Yeah, no game.
We're gonna port over a PSP game.
Yeah,
and like okay, some of their
Konami makes stupid decisions. I think that's pretty much like something we've had time to digest.
Yeah, well,
it's been known.
They lost Hideo Kojima, and as much as I'm not a fan of a lot of his work, Hideo Kojima was what made money at Konami.
Yeah, but to be fair, Kojima, he has his own problems. I think he was like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's not as clear cut as some people try and make it out to be.
Well, he started off as a junior designer, okay, and the guy has like no technical skills.
Yeah.
So how, as a designer, do you finagle game design without like knowing how to script or code or anything?
I watch a lot of movies.
Yeah, that's all he did. He's a good storyteller. Congratulations, you're a narrative designer.
I mean, even that. Well, the thing about Kojima is he has innovative gameplay ideas. Like the whole, Psycho Mantis reads your memory card, or you have to beat him by switching the controller port, or the codec is on the back of the box. Like he has some really interesting out-the-box ideas.
He took credit for that. I don't know if that was him or the people he hired to work with him. Because that's what happens in the video game industry, dude. As somebody that spent 10 years in that freaking shithole, I can tell you, a lot of my job was convincing my superiors that my ideas were their ideas so that I could get a green light to do it. And I wasn't even that great of a designer, dude. I had people that were 1,000 times better than me doing the exact same thing that had been in the industry for much longer. They're like, hey, how about if we do this? Oh, I don't know. Oh, well, dude, you should totally. Didn't you say in a meeting we should do that? Oh, yeah. Hey, dude, that's a great idea. Oh, yeah, maybe I should do it. Like, there's too many retards. There's too many like incompetent people in that industry making the shots, and that's never going to change.
What do you think about what Dave's saying? Also, hi, Dave. Do you think he shouldn't have been an executive at Konami?
I think he made an excellent narrative designer, and I think he attracted a lot of intelligent and talented people. I don't know about executive, but I don't think he should have had carte blanche. I think,
do know the whole Lords of Shadow series was that was Kojima's doing.
Yeah, and that was polarizing. Some people loved it, some people absolutely despised it.
And the problem with Castlevania, especially at that time, was Castlevania is a very story-centric franchise, and it has a timeline. They were kind of running out of places to do games.
Yep.
Because Dracula comes back every 100 years. Sometimes they skip the line and have it be like 20 or 50, but they've done so many games that they the series goes back to the 1100s. They had ran out of places.
Well, so it had a bookend. Like, what is it? Soma Cruz was pretty much the last like it ends with that. Like the
literally the only other game he could have done was the Demon Castle War of 1999 with Julius. That's the only story on the table you could have made a game out of.
I honestly, and I don't know if this makes me a Philistine or not, but I was also a Sega kid, so I didn't have access to the original Castlevania. I actually liked what they did with the Lords of Shadow story, where they made Gabriel Belmont Dracula, and it was the fall from grace, and then Alucard was actually Trevor, his son.
I didn't mind it, honestly.
Yeah, it was an interesting spin. That's all. If they didn't call it Castlevania, I think it would have got a more positive response.
And I think the problem with the Lord of the Shadows here is not necessarily the first game, because people are like, okay, it's the second game where it went off the rails.
Yeah,
sending Dracula into the future.
Yeah, and he's all stealth and stuff. I'm like, this is crap.
Like the first game, people could realize, okay, it may not be the best, but they were at least trying. They at least tried with that first game.
Oh, the presentation was top notch, dude. I have yet to see a game come close to that. The UI, the music, the aesthetic.
Having Patrick Stewart be your narrator?
Yeah, and I can't remember who's it. The Rumpelstiltskin guy from that ABC series was the voice of Gabriel. You know, Francis Begbie from Train Spotting. Yeah, I love
and like I love Mirrors of Fate, like the spinoff they did in the 3DS, which was like
Yep.
2D, which like that was cool. It filled in some gaps, and it was a 2D ROM. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, and a lot of Castlevania purists are like, this deviates from the lore, blah blah blah, and it's like, yeah, it does. It totally does. It dumps all over the original Castlevania lore, and I think that if they didn't call it Castlevania, I think this game would have done a lot better.
Just call it Lords of Shadow.
Yeah, just Lords of Shadow. There you go. Boom. And nope.
Yeah. To be fair, Dave, that's like literally every game designer ever.
Yeah. Well, yes and no. There's a lot of people in the industry that, dude, this blew my mind, are too cool for school. They absolutely find video games repugnant, and they think that they're for nerds and dorks, and they hate their customers, and they're only using it as a springboard or a stepping stone to get into Hollywood.
Yeah, I mean, that's the comic industry as well. So,
yeah, I'll tell you, it was disillusioning when you're in there and you're like, you feel like the bee girl at the end of the Blind Melon song there, No Rain. You're like, I'm around my people. And they're all like, ew, you play video games? Dork. Like, we're making them.
We're literally making video games.
Yeah. It's like, oh, he's such a dork. I'm like, we're all dorks. We're all the geeks. Like, that's the point. We are toy makers. Like, get over yourself.
Yes.
Oh, God. Man. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, and it sucks too, because there's some insanely talented, nice, really good people in that industry, and you'll never hear about them. And the only time that you'll ever see anything is when they get laid off and their LinkedIn profile gets that nice little green banner or badge at the bottom of their portrait, and they can't find work for like years, because this industry, I hate to say it, but we are in a crash right now. This is a crash. AAA has sabotaged
very
itself.
slow crash.
Yeah, well, it's at a point where they're like, oh, well, Ubisoft hasn't died yet. No, Ubisoft is dead. Morale at Ubisoft is done. People are leaving left and right. I can see it in LinkedIn all the time. So-and-so got a new job.
If I can just say, I think Disney might buy Ubisoft. I think
Tencent will.
I think Disney's going to at least try, because Disney wants to get into video games, and if they see that Ubisoft is on sale, I think they would want to purchase Ubisoft, because that gives them access. Like, come on, you don't think like an Assassin's Creed ride at Disneyland?
Well, I think like, here's the thing though. It's
the
like,
leap of faith, literally, it writes itself.
Well, like, it would be nice because one's a European company and one's, American or whatever. But like, we are watching a wholesale economic sabotage of our industry, and it's by China. And Tencent has gone in with influence into Western companies. This originally was a theory, but the more I'm looking at it, the more it's making sense. They have basically spent about a decade observing through a process called Guangqi, which is a Chinese term in business for a business relationship. They've observed how Westerners make games, got all the information they could for over a decade now. And once they got that information, they said, thanks. Well, we need to eliminate our competition, enter the woke crap. All of our games,
and we're starting to see the second phase of the plan.
Yep, Chinese games coming in,
and they're welcoming it because people are so tired of the crap that they're welcoming. I love how in Marvel Rivals you can't type out Winnie the Pooh or Tiananmen Square
or Taiwan. Yeah. This is our future, guys. Every time you buy these non-woke games, these savior games that the Chinese are coming in and providing for you, you're inviting more and more censorship. And eventually there's going to be social ID. And then they're going to have stupid stuff like, you played this game for 3 hours. Well, you've exceeded your playtime. Goodbye.
Yeah, but I do have some hope, because if you look at like how a lot of the puritanical right is trying to assert themselves, and a lot of them are like, no.
Yeah.
It's hilarious to watch.
It is.
I think you're going to see that with some of these Chinese games. Like once they try to pull the rug, we're going to see the same thing again.
It saddens me because there's so many good, skilled, amazing, creative people that are losing their jobs because useful idiots above them have been bribed or are just ideologically compromised. into like Neil Druckmann is going to lead to a lot of people at Naughty Dog losing their jobs. And the people that did the environmental art, I actually know a couple of these people. Insanely nice, insanely talented.
That game is going to bomb so hard.
Yeah, it is going to cost a lot of people jobs, and it's going to be, well, that's because there's too many bigots and racists in the gaming. And it's like, dude, if you're a businessman, the only thing you should care about is money. And if you're making a product that only bigots and racists buy, guess what? Make a product for bigots and racists.
Yeah, if only bigots or racists buy it. Oh God, I'm sorry. I can't finish that sentence because, like, oh God, I know.
But when I say that, I'm paraphrasing bigots and racists. You know, most people who are accused of that are not that. What? Okay, yeah, jawohl.
You know why I didn't finish my sentence?
Yeah, but it's like we're looking at Bolshevik marketing, where instead of listening to what the customers want and providing what the customers want, supply versus demand, we're telling, these businesses are telling customers what they should want. And I don't want an ugly black lesbian with a shaved head. Nobody wants to play that. There was that study that came out about gay. What is it? The vast majority of gamers do not want to play gay characters. And then all of a sudden, these like gaming journalist sites are like, oh, well, they're all bigots or whatever. Well, be that as it may, you're not going to make money.
I think Baldur's Gate 3 is a perfect case study of you can get away with some stuff, but people will tolerate it because A, they hot, and also things are optional. Like, yes, you can F the bear in Baldur's Gate. You know, you can also you can sleep with this nice tender woman who
normies aren't going to see the bear banging scene, because they're not going to pursue that. You can put it in there, but most people aren't going to see that. Well, they were the same company that complained because the majority of they were able to track a heat map of all the character creation options, and they're like, the majority of people making this game are boring white male generic warrior. Well, that's what they want. Like, how are you this stupid?
Nick, what are your thoughts?
I think people are being stupid as usual.
Yeah.
You know what? I just want to play my game the way I want to play it.
Yeah.
And
with
right
big
now,
old titties.
That too. But right now, I just want to play my cute little dress-up game that lets me beat the shit out of adorable little monsters. I don't think that's a lot to ask, man.
Dave, I'm autistic, but even I can tell that's sarcasm.
But that's
I'm autistic as shit, and even I know that's sarcasm.
But Jack is there for the people who want her, and for the majority of us who left her in the bulkhead or whatever down in the engine room to rot. That's totally fine. Like, having somebody have that option, good on you. Don't make that the only option.
Yes, you can either choose the bald, tatted up girl or the posh lady with the really nice exterior who clearly aerobicizes.
The camera zooms in on her hexagonal butt cheeks. But
they don't call it ass effects for nothing.
Yeah, but like the problem we're seeing in modern gaming is we're being lectured. Like, people don't pay for sermons. I'm sorry, but there's a reason why a decline in attendance for church and stuff is happening, is because people are being distracted by entertainment. Entertainment sells. I'm not entertained by having a bald black lesbian tell me how awesome she is and how terrible men are.
But I am entertained by flirting with a posh lady named Miranda, who her spacesuit hugs her quite closely and quite deliciously, I might add. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Next time we do a gaming stream, please balk me.
Yes, sir.
Horny Joe. But yeah, and that's like, I hate bringing on that level of pessimism, because like I was saying when Vaughn was here, like, I want to be wrong too, but I'm observing trends. That's all I'm doing.
And as much as I want to say you're wrong, I've observed the same trends.
Yeah.
And I try to be as hopeful as I can, but I'm not blind,
Yeah. And I mean, not to segue it into indie comics, but that's what indie comics provide me. I can't speak for anybody else, but that's what it provides me, is that I don't get lectured by angry black shaved head lesbians telling me how terrible I am or whatever. I can read, like, I just got Fall of Man 2 today that I'm looking forward to reading. And then I got another one, Iverian. What a hell of a way to start off 2025. I get 2 books in the mail in one day. Like, this is awesome.
And that's the great thing about indie, whether it be comics, video games, books, is we can now be the change we want to see. Like, for example, I don't like modern Star Wars, So instead of being a Phantom Menace and just complaining about it nonstop and not actually doing anything about it like a fucking idiot, yes, Phantom Menace, I hate you, shut the fuck up. I'm sorry, I'm mask off today. I did something about it. I wrote my own book. I wrote Lost Kingdom, and it was successfully kickstarted, and the book is coming. I'm working on rewrites right now. It is the Star Wars I want to see, kind of thing. I like Batman. Batman had disappointed me, so I created a Batman type character of my own. And that's all this is. Nix, anything you want to add?
No, I think I said all that needs to be said.
All right. So if you made it this far, please give us a like. And if you haven't subscribed, okay, as much as I was joking, I actually did find Miranda annoying as well. I romanced Liara, but I actually did like Jack's story. I thought she had a pretty sympathetic story. But yeah, I get why people don't like Jack, but I space racist Ashley. Yeah, that's funny. But yeah. So all right. So we're gonna go around and do our favorite thing of who is it? No. What you got going on? Where people find you? So Nix, go ahead.
You can find me at Twitter at BunnyGirlNix.
All right, please feel subscribe to Nix. And then Chris, what do you have to shill for us today?
Oh yeah, well, I'm not launching my campaign tonight, so I'm not going to go into a full-on blitz. But I do still have the pre-launch page for Infinitale Chronicles 2. Here's the link, and yeah, it's got a mailing list. So if you want to get access to special perks when the campaign launches, then sign up for the mailing list. And on top of that, we're looking to launch Q1 of this year, so that's anytime between now and the end of March or whatever. So I'm just waiting on my colorist to get me some pages. Then I'll just do some lettering, ship it off to the printers, get some proofs, see that I actually have a product to sell, and then bam, we'll kick off that campaign. And in the meantime, I'm also working with another artist, and she and I are working on a possible stretch goal, which is basically a preview of book 3. So
nice.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to that one. I can't wait to show that stuff off because, in my opinion, it looks amazing. And I'm not just saying that because I'm getting high off my own supply. I mean, it was like we had a survey taken at the end or after book 1 shipped. So we took all that feedback to heart, and we're now implementing that. So looking forward to seeing what people's reactions are for book 2, because dude, book 1, it was like pissing in a well waiting for a splash. Like, people got it, and there were no reviews. There was a couple of reviews, and I appreciate those, but like it just kind of like, what is it, bad buzz is better than no buzz, it just kind of not nothing. So
yeah, sometimes these things take a minute to pop off.
Well, I mean, dude, book 2 is 120 full color pages, so you're getting your money's worth out of this book. There's also a manga edition, which is a combination of books 1 and 2, but it's in black and white, and it's in that right to left.
Well, when that comes out, I'd be happy to showcase it and whatnot.
Oh, sweet! Thanks, man.
Oh, dude, you've been a great co-host. I'm happy to help you out. So,
hell yeah.
As for myself, I am between campaigns right now, so if you want to check out my Patreon, where I post a lot of behind-the-scenes goodness right there. Have multiple tiers and all that stuff. So right now, the status of Screecher 3, I've shipped out some. The next wave is going to be in February, because I got to print the stickers, the cards, and the prints. So everything is hopefully going to be shipped by the end of February. That's the goal right there. And Screecher 4 will be coming. I got my Quartermain preview book that's going to be coming out in June. And then Lost Kingdom is set to be released in August. So it's going to be a minute before I got something else to release. But in the meantime, thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you, Nix. Thank you, Vaughn. Thank you, Chris, Nix. And thank you, everyone. Dave, everyone, Peter Venkman fans. I thank everybody. I will be streaming again tomorrow. We'll be streaming some Zelda. And then on Monday, I'll be doing some more. You're in a liminal campaign. Shoulder's campaign is both active and not active at the same time. We're doing I'm kind of reorienting the stream schedule. So like on Monday, I'm doing a playthrough of KOTOR with my girlfriend. And eventually Comics Watch will return. But the Tuesdays and the Saturday streams are still happening. So join me tomorrow for some Zelda goodness. You guys have been really liking that. But this has been Nick from the Phoenix Press. Remember, I can only show you the door. You're the ones to walk